Princess Vera Lunarith had dreamed of this day her entire life. At only 20 years old, she was finally standing before the entire kingdom, ready to receive the crown. The cathedral was filled with nobles, soldiers, and thousands of people waiting to see their future queen. But the moment the crown touched her head, Vera suddenly felt a terrible pain in her chest. She grabbed her chest, struggling to breathe. Then something terrifying appeared on her skin. Dark veins began spreading across her wrist, forming the shape of a black crescent moon. The entire cathedral fell silent. Then someone screamed, "The moon curse!" Panic immediately swept. Through the crowd, everyone knew the legend. Anyone who carried the moon curse was believed to eventually become a monster. Vera looked toward her father. Surely the king would protect her. After all, she was his daughter. But instead of coming to her aid, the king slowly stood from his throne. His expression was cold. Guards. Vera couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Father?" The soldiers surrounded her. She begged them to stop. She hadn't hurt anyone. She didn't even understand what was happening to her. But the king refused to look at her. Then he said the words that shattered her heart. "You are no longer my daughter." Hours later, Vera was locked inside an execution chamber beneath the palace. Silver chains held her wrists against the cold stone wall. Outside, thousands of people were demanding her death. For the first time in her life, Vera was completely alone. She looked down at the cursed mark on her wrist. Tears filled her eyes. She had spent her entire life believing she would become a queen. Now her own kingdom wanted her dead. Then suddenly, boom! The enormous doors of the chamber exploded inward. Smoke flooded the room. The guards immediately raised their weapons. 3 unfamiliar men stood beyond the destroyed doorway. But they weren't ordinary men. The first had black wolf ears and golden eyes. The second had silver hair and the ears of a fox. And the third stood silently beneath a dark hood, his presence resembling a predator waiting in the shadows. Vera stared at them in disbelief. Who were these men? The wolf-beast man stepped forward. His name was Raven. He looked at the guards with an expression that made even trained soldiers hesitate. The captain demanded to know who they were. Raven slowly drew his sword. Then, he gave an answer that left everyone speechless. They had come for the princess, not to execute her, but to take her away. Vera didn't understand. Why would 3 beastmen risk invading the royal palace just to save her? She demanded an explanation. Raven looked directly at the black mark on her wrist. Then he said something. That made her blood run cold. Her curse wasn't what the humans believed. Vera stared at him. Then what is it? But before Raven could answer, the mark suddenly burned. Dark energy exploded from Princess Vera's body. The entire chamber shook. The 3 beastmen immediately changed expressions. Even they were afraid. Oren, the silent panther, finally spoke. His voice was low. "It's awakening." Her heart raced. "What is awakening?" No one answered. Then the entire palace trembled. Stone cracked beneath their feet. The candles went out, and from somewhere deep beneath the royal palace came a monstrous roar. Everyone froze. Even Raven looked toward the floor. Whatever had made that sound was enormous. And somehow, Princess Vera knew it was connected to her. Raven suddenly grabbed her hand. "Run!" Vera stumbled after him as they raced through the collapsing palace. Azael followed close behind, his usual playful smile completely gone. Oren remained silent, watching the darkness around them. Princess Vera had no idea who these men were. She didn't know where they were taking her, and she certainly didn't know why they seemed to fear her curse. They finally escaped the palace and reached the edge of a forest covered in darkness. The Blackthorn Forest, a place no human was allowed to enter. Princess Vera looked back at the burning palace. Everything she had ever known was behind her. Her family, her kingdom, her future. Princess Vera turned toward the 3 strangers. "Where are you taking me?" Raven looked at her. "To the only place where your curse cannot kill you." She frowned. "And where is that?" Before he could answer, Something moved between the trees. Two enormous glowing eyes appeared in the darkness. Azael's smile disappeared. Orin immediately reached for his weapon, and Rayavan stepped in front of Princess Vera. For the first time, she realized something terrifying. The three beast men hadn't rescued her because they trusted her. They had brought her here because they were connected to the curse. And whatever was waiting inside the forest, Dot had been waiting for her. Vera followed the three strangers beneath the twisted trees of the Blackthorn Forest. The palace was already hidden behind the darkness. Every step made her more uneasy. She tightened her hands and glanced at the men surrounding her. They had rescued her, yet she couldn't understand why. The forest felt alive, as if countless unseen creatures were watching their every move. The tallest man walked ahead of them. His black wolf ears twitched at every sound, while his golden eyes remained cold and watchful. His name was Rayavan. Vera finally asked, "Why did you save me?" He stopped and looked back at her. "Don't misunderstand. We didn't save you." His voice was calm but threatening. "We took you because your curse concerns us." A silver-haired man suddenly appeared beside Vera, walking backward with an amused smile. His fox ears moved playfully as he studied her. "Don't mind Rayavan. He's always this charming." Vera frowned. "You don't look very trustworthy either." The fox laughed. "Good! You're smarter than you look." He leaned closer. "I'm Azael, and I think we're going to have fun together." Vera noticed the third man walking several steps behind them. Unlike Azael, he hadn't spoken once. His dark hair framed a pair of piercing blue-gray eyes, and black panther ears rose from his head. "And him?" Vera asked. Azael glanced back. "That's Orin!" Vera waited for more. Nothing came. Orin simply looked at her before turning away. His silence made her more nervous than words ever could. Vera stopped walking. "Enough. I don't know any of you, and you're taking me somewhere without explaining anything." Rayavan turned toward her. "Then don't trust us." His answer stunned her. Azael chuckled softly. "Trust is dangerous in our world, Princess." Orin finally spoke. "Especially now." Vera looked between them. Whatever they knew about her curse, they clearly weren't telling her everything. A strange rustling suddenly came from the trees. Vera froze. Several pairs of glowing eyes appeared in the darkness around them. Rayavan immediately stepped in front of her, hand moving toward his sword. Azael's playful expression disappeared. Orin silently moved beside them. Vera whispered, "What are those?" Rayavan stared into the forest. "Creatures that can smell your curse." Rayavan grabbed Vera's wrist. "Keep moving." They hurried deeper into the forest while the creatures followed from the shadows. Vera stumbled over a root, but Orin caught her before she fell. Their eyes met for a moment. He immediately released her without a word. Azael noticed and smiled. "Interesting." Vera glared at him. "What?" He only laughed. "Nothing." After hours of walking, the trees finally opened. Vera stopped in disbelief. Beyond the forest stood an enormous black castle beneath the moonlight. It looked ancient, beautiful, and terrifying. Ravan released her wrist. "This is where you'll stay." Vera stared at the castle. "With you three?" Azael smiled. "Unfortunately for you." Orin looked toward the castle gates. "And unfortunately for us."
If you enjoyed this story, make sure to follow and subscribe for more captivating fantasy tales, romance, mystery, and let the moon guide your story.